Alright, what's up? Gonna be talking about how I got so much gold today. I've been getting this question a lot, like how do you farm so much gold? How do you get X amount of gold? How do you get these millions of gold? So it's a pretty simple answer, and I think it's a lot of players have access to it as well. Basically, most of the time I'm playing, I've been just farming JR hard, right? I know it's a boring answer, but I've been farming JR hard. I've had Jiraiya for most of the time I farmed. I used to use him alongside with Speedy. Plus Amaterasu up front. And this would be my farming setup. It wasn't max efficiency, but it was still very fast at getting gold because I did have access to Jiraiya, right? This is pretty much the setup I used to use to farm gold, at least all the key units for it. I would put Felina back here, and then I'd have a non-evolved Archimedes over here, just because I guess the freezing could help prevent bosses from casting their abilities, right? And so what I did, other than just use like this main core layout and farm JR hard for many hours, right? I would use 2 times speed with the summoner asleep. If you don't know, the summoner being asleep does help you save some time to prevent the summoner from like making an emoji every time you beat a wave. It just saves a few seconds each time, and it really adds up the more you play JR, and it becomes a pretty major time save. So you just have to leave him in 1 time speed a little bit here until he does fall asleep, in which case you can speed up your farming a little bit, turn back to 2 times speed. I also, of course, would use an auto clicker to achieve 24/7 farming. In terms of what I use to cash out most of my gold, the majority of my gold would come from orbs, right? Because orbs give you a ton of gold if you do have all of your monsters at 3 gold stars. Sometimes I would use gem cash outs. These yield significantly less gold, especially with how less frequent it is to obtain gems. I understand that this is probably not the best decision with your gems, but I just have so many that I'll never be able to spend in the challenges. So I just thought I'd cash out some gems, especially if I did need to finish up getting like maybe 1 million or 2 million gold to be able to do a fully maxing a monster video. That's pretty much all the main methods I'd use for farming. I do have another video talking about some simple tips to improve your farming in the description down below. But if you are just wondering how I got all my gold, I'd say 95% of it just came from farming JR hard with a Jiraiya farming setup and, utilizing Sleeping Summoner. All these things that I've suggested in past videos. I thought I'd just make a video dedicated to explaining how I did it here. That's gonna be it. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and yeah, see ya.